Hi everybody, how are you? It is C from Living a Frugal Life. Thank you for joining me today in my kitchen. It's Saturday. It has been raining for hours. I did not want to get out of bed. This weekend is the first weekend in 2 years that I have been alone in my home. And so from last night, Friday night, around 3:30 they left yesterday, until dinner time tomorrow night, Sunday night, I am alone. My family have gone camping. They're Boy Scouts and they're gone camping. Now, unfortunately, it has been raining, and I mean rain. I'm not sprinkles or, dodge a drop, or torrential rain for the last 8 hours. And I feel for them. I did not want to get out of bed this morning. I wanted to relax and chill out and stuff like that. But I was in a dry spot. Could you imagine what they're going to be like, little drowned rats? So with that said, I am going to be spending today batch cooking meals. And I'm doing something different, because normally I batch cook. We consume that day, and then everything else will go into the freezer. But I'm doing it different. I'm switching it up. So all the ingredients that we have in our fridge right now, I am going to batch cook into meals that we can consume over the coming days when they get home tomorrow. So I'm going to be doing a pasta salad with black beans and corn and tuna. Nice and fresh. It's going to be for our lunches next week. And then I'm also going to be got 2 requests on YouTube, and a couple, I think there was actually 3, I can't remember, but there was a number of requests for my taco lasagna, and I have all the ingredients on hand to make that. So I'm going to make that, because that sits in the fridge amazingly, and as it ferments, it tastes better each day. Just like regular lasagna, the day you make it, you're like, oh, that's good. You have it a day or 2 later, you're like, it's yummy. So that's what I am going to be doing today. I'm also going to do a little bit of baking. I think I'm going to make some bread as well, and pull out my mixer and make some bread. So basically, that's what I'm going to be doing today. And it's fluid, so it might be changing here, there, and everywhere. So come along and join me as we batch cook. So let's talk about the ingredients for the taco lasagna. First off, you're going to need some ground turkey, beef, or pork, whichever you want to use. Next up is a tin of refried beans, salt and pepper, a taco dinner kit, some cheese. Now, I do not have the normal cheese that I put through. I normally use the Mexican cheese from Lidl, but I don't have any. And so this is going to be an improvisation situation. So I do have the Kobe Jack. It is shredded. It is a mixture of the different cheeses. That's what we're going to use. We're just going to go with the flow, and then a packet of tortillas. And also, I will be using some lime zest. I didn't pull it out to put here, but I do have limes. So I'll be doing the zest of the lime in the meat, the juices in the meat, and also on top. So that'll be the thing. So that'll be our first recipe of today, will be the taco lasagna. Now, I also forgot to mention that you're going to need a big dish. You can use like a Pyrex or a pottery dish or whatever you have, but you will need one of these. I love this dish. It is by Essentials of the Kitchen. But guess what? I got this at Goodwill maybe must be 7 or 8 years ago. And as you can see, that's not dirt, that's scratch marks from my kids going in to get lasagna or whatever out of it. So this is our size. It does not give the measurements, but it's hefty. You can tell it's a hefty size. We'll probably get 2 whole complete dinners out of this for the family. So I'll pop that off to the side. Next, I'm going to just put on the stove on high and pop in some olive oil just into the pan there. So one of the ingredients that I forgot is this product. It's basically, I just dropped it on the floor, but I'll just grab another pack because they're completely sealed. It's garlic, okay? I find it to be really, really convenient. It comes in a little pack. It's 1 whole clove in here. You'll need your press. Now, when I buy this at Lidl, I pop it immediately into the freezer. So these are all frozen and they work fantastically for being mashed in this thing. So let me show you how. Look at this. Perfect for just plopping on here. Nice sound off the sizzle. So there you have it. It's quick and easy. Just pop it in there and just let that come to like a, you just want it roasted. You don't want to burn it. You just basically want to roast it. Make sure you get all the extra pieces out. Don't waste anything. Yeah. So I'm just going to pop the meat in now and I'll show you as we progress. So the meat is basically cooked right now, but this is the stage where I add the lime. So I just zest it all up. Very simply. Make sure that you're not taking off. You're only taking off the skin and not all the way down to the flesh, because that will make it very, very bitter. And the aromas are just flooding the kitchen because of the lime. It's bringing everything up. Like, it's just bringing all the notes, because while the meat was cooking, I put in all the other seasonings, starting off with the garlic, then the black pepper, the salt, and then I added the Set Western seasoning blend. Next up, I have opened up the taco dinner kit, and out of it I have pulled the 2 sachets, okay? So they're going to go on next. They're going to go right into the dry ingredients with the meat and the limes straight on here. And what I like to do is I like to give it a toss really quickly and just coat the meat. Just coat everything really simply. And then I like to add water. And then I just let it cook down a little bit more. I kind of break the meat up a little bit better. And then I add the next seasoning. So this is the tomato base seasoning that comes in the pack. So I just add that next. Quick and easy, just pop it in there. Put it off to the side and stir it in. Now at this stage, I'm going to bring this up to high, and then I am going to turn it off, and I'm going to put this mixture into a bowl off to the side, because then I'm going to be taking care of the black beans. And while I'm doing that process, this sauce will actually thicken and congeal, and that's what we're looking for, okay? But we need to bring it up to a rolling boil first and just let it be. So I have placed the meat in a bowl, and it is starting, you can see it's actually starting to get thicker, the sauce, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Next up is that I opened the can of refried beans, and I turned off the frying pan while I was doing that, but it's still really hot. So I'm just going to put the refried beans right onto the pan. And the reason I'm doing this is that I like the texture of the refried beans to be more smooth when I'm making the lasagna, because these refried beans, if you were making regular lasagna, you'd have your white sauce. And so with the Mexican taco lasagna, you're using the refried beans to substitute that, okay? So make sure you get everything out. And then I didn't even wash the pan because all the flavors are going to marinate together anyway, so it doesn't matter. But just press all of that down. And then I like to add a little bit more water to this just to get it like a more smoother, creamier consistency. And then if there's any large beans that are left in it, I like to mush them too because I have one picky eater and no matter what you do, they find the one bean. So, you know, that is what I like to do. So this is starting to get a little bit smoother as it heats up. There's one bean, I just found one. Give it a mash. So I'll come back to this in a second and show you the next step we're going to be doing, okay? So this is the consistency that we're looking for, right? It's smooth. It looks really good. It actually smells delicious, right? Very, very nice. So at this stage, I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to get the rest of my lime. And I'm just going to, there's a few little bits of lime that I can get off this. And I am going to just toss it straight into the beans. And then I have another one over here. So I'll do the same with this. Because you just want to add the flavors. You want to make the flavors come up. The notes. You want it to be, as you take each bite, you want it to taste, you know, fresh, new, and really enjoyable for your family to be eating. This is a very, very simple, very frugal meal. Very frugal, very frugal. So I'm just going to blend that in. The gas is off. And there we have it. Our next stage now is going to be assembling. And that's basically it. We're just going to assemble it like a regular lasagna. And I'll show you the steps. So while we're going to assemble it, these are the shells, right? And this is one of the fun family activities you can. If you've got young children, they love to do this. But what we're going to do with these shells is crunch them, smash them. We don't need them in too tiny little bits because you want to be able to taste them, but they need to be crushed up. Fun, right? Simple and fun. And they are going to be the layers in between the meat, the cheese, and the beans in our taco lasagna. So as you can see, I have cut up one of the tortillas and I have put it on the sides like this because obviously they're not going to fit, okay? These are round, that's rectangle. So you have to kind of work it in. And one here and one here. And that's exactly what you want. So then you take your refried beans and you put a little on each of the tortillas and just spread it out. Simple, easy, just spread, spread, spread. You're not trying to do anything crazy here. You're just trying to get this layer coated. Okay, and it can be sparse, it doesn't have to be too much. Then I'm reaching for the meat. Woo, it's hot. I'm gonna move that over here for a second. Then you put a layer of the meat, okay? You can see how nice the sauce thickened up on it, and you just put the meat down. On this layer, you want to be generous with the meat. You don't want it to be gapping, okay? Just spread it out. Next up is our cheese. Cover it with cheese. There is a little spot there where there is no meat. So spread it out. Give it an eyeball. Make sure every little portion is getting everything. And then we open our bag of shells. We don't need this part. And then we just put down some shells here. So that's going to give us the crunch in between our layers. Okay. So this bag, you'll get 3 layers. So you'll get this layer, the next layer, and then the top, excuse me, top crumble. I just like to add a little bit more seasoning at this stage. And then I go to the next layer, starting with the tortilla shell in the same formation, going up and then layering up. So let me fast forward that and show you how I do it. Now I'm on the 3rd layer. Sorry you can't see my face right now, but I'm going through the motions with this. But I'm on the 3rd layer. And I just have basically the bits left, okay? So the bits are, we have some refried beans. So we have enough just to coat everything. You don't want this layer to be too thick. You want the refried beans and the meat and everything to be in the internal layers, but you still want this to be meaty on top, okay? So there is the, and you might want to spread it from one to the other, and that's okay. I mean, you can move it around. It's not, it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, this is batch cooking on a budget, so it doesn't have to be, restaurant quality, but it is really nice for your family. And this is a very, as I said earlier, this is very frugal. I'll give the cost breakdown, but this will feed a family of 4 for 2 nights dinners, or it'll feed younger children. It'll feed maybe 6, a family of 6 if you have younger children, but I have, as you know, I have teenagers. So here we go. Whatever little bits of meat we have left, we're just going to put on top. Because this is just this is the visual part of the taco lasagna, because everything else is inside it. Okay, you just want it to look appetizing to the eye. And get all these juices out. Here we go. You're going to do a double layer here. So it's a good generous layer of the shells. Okay, good generous bit. So you want that crunch. You see how it does that? Then you're going to do your cheese. And get it all into all the nooks and crannies. So this bag of cheese was already open. It was 4 cups of cheese, and it was already opened when I started this, because we've probably maybe used 1 cup of it, but there's still, let me turn it up so you can see it. There's still, there's probably like 1/4 of a cup left in here, which is perfectly fine. We'll use that for something else. The next part is that you take the rest of your shells and just put them across the top. And there you have it, guys. Season the top. Now you can bake this in an oven at 375 on the night that you're going to eat it. So say you're going to make it today and your family, you want to feed your family tonight, you could do that. But what I like to do is I like to cover it up right now, and I like to pop it into the freezer. And I like all of the juices and flavors and everything to marinate together. And then if I'm going to be popping it into the freezer, I don't cook it anymore right now today. I actually, in about 4 hours, it'll have congealed, and I'm able to cut it up into individual slices. I wrap them individually, and I pop them into a Ziploc bag with taco lasagna, family of 4 on it, or whatever I'm doing on it. But if I am, so that will go in the freezer, and then I cook the other portion, because it is better cooked fresh the night you're going to consume it, or the day you're going to consume it. And that's just my humble opinion. I've tried it both, but I don't like the way the cheese gets crusty if it's being cooked when it's in the freezer. So that's just a little tip for you. So we're done. Taco lasagna is done. Sorry, my hair's in it, but it's my family. They'll be understanding. But like taco lasagna is done. That's it. We're ready. We're set. And as I said, this will feed. There's 8 portions in here for dinner, or for lunch size, there's like 12 portions in here. So very, very economical. All right. Thanks for joining me while I made the taco lasagna. Now I'm going to make the pasta salad. So the next meal that I'm going to be making this week is a tuna pasta. And before I get started, I'm going to just show you the bowl I'm going to be using. I also got that at Goodwill. If you follow along, you know I got a set of 3. There's my fruit in that one. And it's a perfect size for this pasta salad to be in. But before we do that, let's go over the ingredients that I'm going to be using. So the main ingredients is going to be tuna. I have 2 solid white in water tins, so they're going to be that. And then the tricolor pasta. We're going to be using some cranberries, mayo. Hopefully I have enough mayo. That jar is really low and it's the only one I have. Some corn, black beans, pepper, cucumber, blueberries, some onion, green onions, the zest of the limes, and a little bit more of the skin here of the limes, some Himalayan salt, and then some crunchy celery back there. We have some nice fresh celery back here. So that will be the ingredients. And so I'm going to just put the pasta on the stove to cook al dente. And then I'm just going to be opening the container, slicing up the vegetables and popping them into the bowl. And it's basically just boil the pasta, chop and do it. So I'm not going to go blow by blow with this dish because it's kind of self-explanatory, but I'll show you at the end what it looks like. Okay. So I just popped the pasta into the water that was boiling. But I just want to give you a tip real quick. Just make sure that you drain the vegetables. Like if you have black beans or corn or whatever you're using, make sure you drain them. I've already drained the corn and I have drained the black beans. So I'm going to be moving on and getting everything assembled so I can show you the steps. So I'm now at this stage of all the vegetables ready to be compiled with the pasta that's cooked and it's already cooled. I put the zest of the lime on top of the tuna, and I'm actually going to squeeze in the lime juice on top of the pasta now, and then I'll be compiling everything. So we have blueberries, the limes, cranberries, cucumber, green onion, Himalayan salt, corn, black pepper, a little bit of celery, black beans, regular onions, and I think I said blueberries already. So yeah, that's the next step, and I'm going to use my my lemon lime squeezer to do that. So now we're ready to compile the pasta salad. The pasta is cooked, it's cool. The tuna has the zest of the lime and the lime juice on it, and then we have all the ingredients set up, all chopped up and ready to just compile. So that's what I'm just going to do right now, just dump them in the bowl. So I'm really after having to get creative because I want to show you me compiling everything. So this blur on the edge is actually a glass. So blueberries, onions, celery, corn. I love the colors that it's coming together. It's so pretty. Black beans. Lots of protein is going into this. Delicious fresh cucumber. And this is the, some people call this the greenhouse or the English cucumber. This is my favorite cucumber because it's really crunchy. And then baby green onions, all nicely chopped up. Last but not least, we're going to put in the cranberry. So it's basically what you have in your pantry, all the little leftovers that you want to consume and you're not sure how you're going to do it. So now I'm just going to toss it all together. I don't think I'm going to have enough mayo. So what I'm going to do is The container is looking pretty empty. Look at that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of the pasta and the seasoning in here and give it a good shake. So we're using up everything. So that's just a quick, frugal tip for you there. So I'm just going to just continue to do this. So basically it just looks like that. So we got away with it. We ended up with enough of the mayo. We got most of it out of the jar. So that looks really nicely coated. I'm going to just taste it now for just to make sure it's seasoned right. Really, really crunchy. I think I could do with a little bit more black pepper. So let me add that. And then the final step is just to combine the tuna. There was a little bit of mayo here, so just using that spoon. Combine the tuna with the lemon zest and the lemon juice, and then I'm going to sprinkle that on top. Well, it's all combined, and I just tasted it now with the tuna in it, and it is delicious. So this is going to go into the refrigerator, covered up, and let it marinate for a couple of hours. And then I will divide it out into individual portions. And the reason why I do that is it's grab and go. This is lunch next week, so it's a quick grab and go. Nobody needs to be waiting on anybody else to have their lunch. It's a very busy week next week in this house. So yeah, there you have it. Zero food waste, tuna pasta salad. So here you go. This is how I like to have them all lined up in my fridge. Easy peasy, grab and go. So these little bands, I'm sure you have them lying around your house. When you go to an event and they give you a band to get in, they're really durable rubber. Well, we had lots of them hanging around, and I like to reuse and reduce stuff. So that's what and then these forks are bamboo. This one has been through the dishwasher and has come out fine. And we've had them, we bought a pack, I want to say we bought a pack of 500, as in forks, knives and spoons, maybe 6 years ago, and we're still going through it because we're camping and doing all those things, so it's good. It's environmental, and they're bamboo, which is sustainable. So anyway, that's how I do it. This is how our grab and go lunch is going to be this week. What do you do when it's dark and wet outside? You bake bread, right? So I made this one is, there's two of them actually. Look, yum yum yum. So what's different about them than normal bread that I bake, that I just want to share, is that I used cream cheese in it. They're perfect. Look, clean as whisper. So I'm really looking forward to eating, and I have all the Italian spices are on them. So yeah, it came out really, 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 really nice. Look, delish. And then my son is having a friend over tonight, and so I made a lemon and chocolate cake. It's going to be like a marble cake, so hopefully it'll come out really nice. We're going to serve it with vanilla ice cream that we have hanging around in the fridge. So there you go. Yum. I wish you could taste it. It's absolutely delicious. Really good. Cuts wonderful. Look at that. Everybody's at Scouts. So I'm home here with the bread and the butter. I'm going to have a nice slice and leave it at that. Hope you enjoyed the cooking today. See you next Sunday.